Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the FUT birthday Leroy Sané. We're going to go through the card Zito stats, clips and summary. Before we get into all that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you're going to be grabbing this card or which one of the FUT birthdays you've tried out so far. And without further ado, let's just get into the review. So guys, this is the team that I used, Leroy Sané, and I played him in that 4-2-3-1 on that left wing spot, and I tried him in the cam spot, and I did try him in that striker spot as well. And overall guys, my first impressions of this card, this is a really good card guys, especially in the pace and dribbling departments. However, I do feel like he has some shortcomings in other departments of his game, mainly his finishing and some of his passing too. Without further ado though, let's just get into the review. Leroy Sané, 6 foot tall, high medium work rate, left footed, 4 successful moves and 5-star weak foot, 5 games played, 6 goals scored and no assists. Now guys, everything is lovely there. Of course, left-footed player, you're able to play him out on the left-hand side, the right-hand side with the flexibility of the attacking midfield spot. 6 goals in those 5 games as well in Division 2 isn't bad. I felt like he should have had a couple of assists, and sometimes I let him down more than he let me down in terms of the passing element of this. Overall guys, I thought this card played really well for me, and those 5-star moves and 4-star weak foot were really helpful. The chemistry I went with guys was marksman. I didn't feel like his pace needed that much boosting, so I went with the marksman to help out his shooting and his dribbling. I do feel like he was still lacking slightly in the shooting department, but it did definitely help his dribbling out and just made him that little bit quicker in the transition too. Getting into the key stats guys, of course the pace, a big one, which is mostly what this Leroy Sané is all about. The agility and balance are both pretty good. The reactions are a little bit low, but the ball control and dribbling are pretty decent as well. So boosting those with the right chemistry style will be key to playing well with this card. In terms of the cons, the finishing is quite poor, I think, guys, and the long shots are quite poor as well. But guys, to compensate for that, he does have great shot power. You'll see that in some of the clips that we go through with him as well. And overall guys, I feel like this guy is just generally pretty decent across the board in terms of the stats. The only other thing I would say that's really bad is his long passing. I do feel like that was quite poor. His crossing and short passing though was pretty decent. And crossing I feel like was higher than the 88 suggested there on the card as well. So overall guys, a really good mixed skill set and ability to be able to play any sort of position in the attacking line. He's got the power free kick trait, the flair trait and the speed dribbler trait, so all those traits are lovely to have. And now that we've covered all that, we're going to get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Leroy Sané's clips, and what you guys are going to see is his general ability off that wing to be able to play really well and contribute in terms of being a good player to attack with, not just for passing but also for goal scoring. And the first thing we're going to get into guys, and it is of course the most obvious factor about this card, is Leroy Sané's pace. He is absolutely rapid guys, especially moving down that wing, and with the size that he has as well, he has a big stride which allows him to be able to move past players really well, move past them quickly, and does have a reasonable amount of strength as well, which allows him to be able to hold them off and create goal scoring opportunities. Which leads me on to the part that goes hand in hand with this, which is really his dribbling. I feel like his dribbling guys is really good. Again, because of that big stride length, I feel like he was very good at moving with the ball, or just in general getting in behind the defenders as well, and his movement was very good. You guys can see in most of these clips I'm dancing past 2 or 3 players in each of these just to try and create an opportunity, and it was so easy to do that guys because nobody could keep up with him in terms of his size and ability, that I was able to create really easy chances. Now the next thing I want to get into guys is actually his passing and crossing. Now his crossing is very good guys. He has a really good left foot, and especially with the boost to his weak foot and skill moves, what you do have then is a very two-footed capable player able to do all parts, whether it's crossing, passing or shooting. Now guys, I would say that his long pass is of course a little bit poor, but his short passing and crossing are both very good, and his link-up play is very decent as well, so it's nice to have that as well in your winger or your attacking midfield, wherever you choose to play this card. We're going to get into the next aspects of this card guys, and that is his shooting. I do feel like his shooting was okay. I didn't feel like it was particularly good, and I didn't feel like it was particularly bad. I would say that it took me a little bit of time to get used to how he shoots. I would say that as well, that his shot power is very good guys. He hits the ball very hard. It's just not always the most accurate of shots, which means that you often get a save by the keeper or a parry or something else, which will stop you from scoring. The other thing I want to mention guys about his shooting, which is to do with his set pieces, is his free kicks are very good. He does of course have that power free kick trait, so if you are within that 29 or 30 yard inward sort of range, you can really score some lovely free kicks with this card as well. He makes it fairly easy to do that with how good he is in terms of his statistical play. Now guys, we're going to get into some of the goals that he scored, and overall you're just going to see more of the same in terms of what you saw earlier in the shooting clips. Lots of shot power and ability just to stick the ball in fairly well. well. I do feel like that although it's the weakest part of his game, if you can get used to how he shoots you, he will be very good for you. I just feel like I didn't play particularly well with him in terms of shooting because everything else was phenomenal on this card. I really couldn't complain too much about everything else he was able to do, whether it was crossing, whether it was shooting, whether it was passing, or just creating a run and a goal scoring opportunity that way as well. Getting into these last couple of clips, guys, again, more of the same, smashing it in with that left foot. I didn't really get a chance to use his right foot that much. I just had so much faith in his left foot that I stuck with it. This clip here, the final one, breaking through the line there and then smashing it in. So guys, getting to this final Leroy Sané summary, 1.045 on the PlayStation, 891k on the Xbox, and 1090 on the PC. Now that's very expensive, guys, for this card. In terms of the key stats though, of course, his pace, phenomenal. His dribbling is pretty good, and although he is quite big, if you can improve certain elements of his dribbling as well, I feel like it becomes really fast. That reactions is the main one I'm looking at, so if you are going to improve that, then I feel like this card is super fast. He was fast even without having to improve the reactions too much, so I feel like this card will do really well no matter what you give him. In terms of his shooting as well, pretty decent shot power, decent passing as well. Long passing, of course, is pretty poor, but the crossing is very good. I think better than 88 would suggest. In terms of chemistry style, guys, now it really depends on how you're going to play this card, but if you were to play him with more of a shooter kind of focus towards him, I maybe wouldn't even focus on the finishing aspect of this card. You could look somewhere like a finisher, which would help his shooting out and help his dribbling out as well. But guys, I wouldn't actually be focusing on the pace in this card. I would be focusing elsewhere to try and help him just in general with his shooting, passing, and dribbling play there. I wouldn't be focusing on the pace because I feel like it's a bit of a wasted chemistry style. If he goes to 99, it's not really that much of a gain. You won't really notice that much of a difference. In terms of similar players, guys, I really don't feel like there's a lot of similar players to this card. I feel like Harvey Barnes isn't a bad shout. I do feel like that Serge Gnabry is another good shout, but this Sané has got a weird size and speed combo which makes him far better to use than these smaller players. Ricardo Kaká isn't a bad shout, but I feel like Kaká has a lot wider body type. This Sané a very lean body type, and that allows him to slip between spaces and challenges a lot easier. In terms of linkability, guys, he's of course got a bunch of perfect links to the Bayern Munich German players, as well as strong links to German icons, other Bayern Munich players, German players across the Bundesliga. There's so many links with this card, especially in that Bayern team. Of course, got links to both Lars and Sven Bender too. So I think this card definitely has a bunch of nice ways to link him in. Going to the price comparison, guys, if we look at this here, you guys can see he's just above Lucas Moura there, Steven Gerrard's prime icon moments, Bobby Firmino, Philip Lahm's DM card. So there's a lot of cards here. Gio Reyna is further down the list at 700k, and above him we've got Bruno Fernandes, Kaká, those kind of players there. I think this card is really good, guys, but I think he justifies a 1 million price tag. Not quite for me in terms of PlayStation. Now, if we look at the Xbox price, we see it's 891. I think if you put him around the 891 sort of level, we look at those players there, all of a sudden you're looking at JJ Okocha's moments, Xavi Hernandez. I think that's a fair price. I think if it went down to 850, guys, I would say that's where this card should sit. I think 1 million is still too high for me, even though he has the 5-star weak foot 4-star skill moves. Maybe I'm being harsh. I think maybe 900 I would push to, but I think it's still too high at 1 million to go out and buy this card. I would wait and see what else comes out, because although this card is fantastic, he does lack a little bit in the finishing department for me, or was very inconsistent in that way, and I feel like that would be enough to put me off this winger, because his passing needs a little bit of help as well. His end product really isn't the best, so you do need to boost him a little bit, just in terms of that, just because it's inconsistent, not because it's particularly poor, guys. When he gets it right, it is phenomenal, but there are parts to him that I would still like to boost. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. And until next time, I will see you all in a bit.